Right now, somewhere in the world, a 19-year-old kid is sitting in a tiny apartment, no connections, no money, no famous last name, and 5 years from now, he's going to be running a seven-figure business. Getting paid to think respected in rooms you're still trying to get into, and the wild part, he's not smarter than you, he's not more talented than you, he doesn't work harder than you, he just learned a set of skills that most people will never discover, not because they're hidden, not because they're locked behind some elite university, but because most people are too comfortable being average to ever go looking today. I'm going to hand you those skills, every single one, the skills that compound, the skills that separate the wolves from the crowd, the skills that make you dangerous in the best possible way. But I have to warn you, this video is not for everyone. If you're looking for a motivational feel-good speech that makes you feel productive for 5 minutes before you go back to scroll and close this tab. But if something in you is tired of watching others win, tired of being the smartest person in the room who nobody listens to, tired of working hard and getting nowhere, then stay. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to change how you see yourself. And once you see it, you can never unsee. And we're going to cover 12 skills that nobody teaches you, not in school, not in college, not even most books. But skill number 7 is the one that the most successful people in the world guard like a secret. And by the time we get there, you're going to understand why they never talk about it. Stay with me. Let me paint a picture. You wake up tomorrow morning, before your feet even hit the floor, you've already checked your phone, Instagram, Twitter, maybe some news, and somewhere in those first 7 minutes of your day, you've already started comparing yourself to people you've never met by noon. You've thought about that idea you had 6 months ago, the business, the side hustle, the skill you wanted to learn. You told yourself you'd start when the time was right. The time was never right. Was it by evening? You're exhausted, not because you worked so hard, but because you spent your entire day mentally running and physically standing still, overthinking, overplanning, under-executing. Sound familiar? I'm not saying this to hurt you. I'm saying this because that was the life of every single person who eventually broke out of it. Every CEO, every self-made millionaire, every person you secretly admire at some point, they were exactly where you are right now. The only difference, they got their hands on the right skills at the right time, and they executed. That's it. No magic, no luck, no secret bloodline skills. And execution. And today, we close the gap. Here's the uncomfortable truth that no one is going to tell you at school. The world is not a meritocracy. Say it again. The world is not a meritocracy. Hard work alone doesn't win anymore. Working hard at the wrong things just makes you exhausted and broke. But here's the thing nobody tells you. There are people right now playing a different game entirely, not working harder, working smarter, not grinding longer hours, developing skills that leverage their time, skills that make them more valuable with every passing year, skills that, once learned, become permanent advantages no one can take from you. These are the badass skills. And once you learn them, once you genuinely own them, you stop competing because you're no longer playing the same game as everyone else. You become the player that others can't figure out, the person who always seems to land on their feet, the one who turns chaos into opportunity. That's not luck, that's skill. Let's build it. Before we talk about what to learn, we need to talk about how you learn, because here's the brutal truth. Most people have been learning wrong their entire lives. Think about every subject you studied in school. How much of it do you actually remember? How much of it are you actually using right now? If you're like most people, almost none of it. And that's not your fault. The school system was designed to make you pass tests, not to make you retain and apply knowledge. Real learning, the kind that changes your capabilities, looks completely different. It's called active recall instead of rereading your notes. You close the book and ask yourself, what did I just learn? It's called spaced repetition instead of cramming. You return to concepts at increasing intervals, 1 day, 3 days, a week, until they're burned into long-term memory. It's called the Feynman technique. You teach what you learn as if you're explaining it to a 10-year-old. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it yet. And most powerfully of all, it's called learning in public. You document your journey. You share what you're learning. Nothing accelerates mastery like knowing someone is watching. The person who masters how to learn can master anything. Think about that. Every other skill on this list becomes 10 times easier when you own this one first. Let me ask you something. How many brilliant people do you know who are broke? How many intelligent, talented, hardworking people are grinding for years and still not getting the recognition they deserve. Here's why ideas are worthless until they're communicated. Your value, your actual market value in this world, is not just what you know, it's how well you can transfer what you know into the minds, hearts, and wallets of other people. Communication is the multiplier on every other skill. You have two people, same intelligence, same work ethic, same idea. The one who can communicate it better wins every time. So what does high-value communication actually look like? It's the ability to write one email that gets a response in 10 minutes. When other people send 10 emails and get nothing back, it's the ability to walk into a room and own it, not with volume, but with presence and precision. It's the ability to speak in a way that makes people feel seen, so they instinctively trust you. It's the ability to negotiate salary, price, terms without ever seeming desperate. The formula is simple: clarity, confidence, empathy. Be clear about what you want, be confident in your delivery, and always speak to what the other person actually cares about, not what you care about. Most people talk at people. High-value communicators talk to people. Master this, and every door in your life gets easier to open. This one separates the legends from everyone else. You want to know the single biggest reason talented people fail? It's not lack of knowledge, it's not lack of opportunity, it's not even bad luck. It's this: they fall apart precisely when they need to hold together. The business starts failing and they panic. The relationship gets hard and they react instead of respond. The big moment arrives and their hands start shaking. The criticism comes and they crumble. Emotional regulation is the ability to choose your response in a half second between stimulus and reaction. That half second is where your entire life is decided. The ancient Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, ruler of millions, surrounded by war and betrayal, wrote in his private journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Modern neuroscience confirms it. When you're triggered, when emotion floods your system, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, goes partially offline. You stop thinking clearly, you stop seeing options, you react from fear, from ego, from habit. But here's the skill: when you train emotional regulation, you learn to pause before you act. You learn to breathe, not as a cliche, but as a physiological tool, literally slowing your heart rate. You learn to name the emotion. I'm feeling threatened right now. That's interesting. Just naming it reduces its power by up to 40% according to neuroscience research. And then you choose not react, choose the person who stays calm. When everything is falling apart, is always the person everyone turns to, always the person who gets promoted, always the person who makes the best decision in the worst moment. Calm is a superpower. Regulate your emotions, and you regulate your destiny. We live in the most distracted era in human history. The average person checks their phone 96 times a day. The average attention span, according to multiple studies, has dropped to under 8 seconds, shorter than a goldfish. And in this ocean of distraction, the ability to sit down, shut everything out, and do one thing with total focus for hours at a time has become rare, extraordinarily rare, and extraordinarily valuable. Cal Newport calls it deep work, the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. Every great thing ever created, every breakthrough, every masterpiece, every billion-dollar company was built in deep work sessions, not in Slack channels, not in meetings, not scrolling for inspiration. In silence and focus in the zone. Here's the framework. 1. Protect your mornings. The first 2 to 4 hours of your day are cognitively your sharpest. Guard them like your most precious resource, because they are to create a deep work environment. Phone off, notifications silenced, a space your brain associates with focus over time. Walking into that space will automatically trigger your focus state. 3. Work in blocks, 90-minute focus sessions, no exceptions during the session, then a 20-minute real break. Walk, breathe, let your brain recover. 4. Measure output, not hours. Don't count the hours you sit at your desk, count what you actually produce in those hours. The shift alone will destroy procrastination. Here's the truth that will haunt you: most people will never experience what it feels like to truly lock in for 3 hours on something they care about. they'll spend those 3 hours switching between 17 tasks, checking their phone, thinking about thinking, and then they'll wonder why they're not getting anywhere. You will not be those people, not anymore. Here's a skill that makes most people deeply uncomfortable, and that discomfort is exactly what's holding them back. Sales. Before you roll your eyes, let me tell you what actual sales is. Not the pushy, manipulative, car salesman stereotype you've been conditioned to hate. Real sales is this: helping someone who has a problem realize that you have the solution. That's it. That's the whole thing. Here's what nobody tells you. Every great moment in your life will require you to sell something. You sell yourself in a job interview. You sell your idea. In a pitch meeting, you sell your vision to the first person who believes in you. You sell your values to the partner you want to spend your life with. Selling is just persuasion with intention. And if you don't learn it, you're leaving every single opportunity in your life to chance, hoping the right person will somehow just notice how great you are. That's not a strategy. That's a fantasy. The framework: 1. Lead with their problem, not your solution. Before you ever talk about what you offer, dig deep into what they're struggling with. When people feel heard, they trust you. When they trust you, they're open to your solution too. Story over statistics. Numbers inform stories. Move. Tell them about someone who is where they are now and got to where they want to be. 3. Create genuine urgency, not fake pressure. Real consequences. What happens to them if they don't act? Paint that picture honestly. 4. Ask. Stop hinting. Most people hint. They circle around what they want. Confident people ask clearly. Would you like to work together? Can I send you a proposal? Direct questions get direct answers. The person who can sell their ideas, their skills, their vision never worries about income, never waits to be discovered, never depends on someone else's timing. They create their own opportunities. Learn to sell without selling, and you become unstoppable. Imagine walking into any room and within 5 minutes, knowing who's the real decision maker, who's insecure and hiding it behind arrogance, who can be trusted, who's lying to your face. This isn't a superpower. This isn't manipulation. This is social intelligence. And it's a learnable skill. The science is clear. 93% of communication is nonverbal. What people say is the smallest part of what they're actually communicating. The way they say, what their body does, what they avoid, what they emphasize, that's where the truth lives. Here's what to watch. 1. Micro expressions. The human face flashes genuine emotion for a fraction of a second before the social mask goes on. A flash of contempt, a flicker of fear, a momentary look of relief. Learn to catch those flashes, and people become transparent too. Baseline behavior. Everyone has a normal state. Once you know someone's baseline, how they sit, how they speak, what they do with their hands, any deviation from that baseline is information. 3. What they don't say. Pay attention to topics people avoid, questions they deflect, stories they never tell. Silence speaks volumes. 4. Listen, understand, not to respond. Most people in conversation are thinking about what they're going to say next. Real social intelligence means being fully present in what the other person is communicating. You hear things others miss every time. The person who understands people deeply can navigate any environment, can see through manipulation, can build alliances others can't, can spot the right partnerships before anyone else does. They never get blindsided. They always see it coming, and that is one of the most powerful positions a human being can occupy, the one successful people never talk about. Remember, I told you at the beginning, there was one skill that the most successful people in the world guard like a secret. This is that most people think in events, something happens, they react, another thing happens, they react again. They spend their entire life in reactive mode, wondering why nothing ever changes. Systems thinkers don't see events, they see patterns, they see structures, they see the invisible architecture that makes events happen in the first place. James Clear didn't just write a book about habits. He mapped the system of behavior change. Elon Musk doesn't just build companies. He identifies first principles, the fundamental truths beneath every problem, and builds systems around them. Ray Dalio doesn't just make investment decisions. He built principles, a systematic framework that makes decisions for him with consistency. When you think in systems, you stop asking, what should I do today? and you start asking, what environment, structure, and feedback loop can I build so that the right things happen automatically? Here's the power. A person with willpower can win a battle. A person with a system wins the war. Systems thinking applied to your life looks like this. 1. Design your environment. Don't rely on motivation to hit the gym. Make not going harder than going sleep in your workout clothes. Put your shoes by the door. Pay for a gym near work. Not near home. Design the friction out of the behavior you want. Design friction into the behavior you don't too. Build feedback loops. Track what matters. Measure it weekly. Every system needs data to self-correct. What gets measured gets managed. 3. Stack systems. Not goals. Goals tell you where to go. Systems get you there automatically. Instead of, I want to make more money, build a content system, a networking system, a skill acquisition system. Feed the systems. Let the systems feed you. 4. Find the leverage point in every complex system. There's one point of intervention that affects everything else. Finding that leverage point is the difference between exhausting effort and effortless results. The reason successful people don't talk about this is because it sounds simple, but simple is not the same as easy. Systems thinking requires you to zoom out to see patterns over months, not days, to build things that pay off in a year instead of today. And most people are too focused on today to ever build tomorrow, but you're still here, which means you're not most people. Here's a truth that most people spend their entire lives running from. Everything you want is on the other side of discomfort. Every single thing, the body, you want the income, you want the relationships, you want the version of yourself you dream about, all of it sits behind a wall of discomfort. And the people who learn to walk toward discomfort instead of away from it, those are the people who get everything. Your nervous system is wired to avoid pain. It's ancient. It's biological. When something feels uncomfortable, your brain sends one signal. Stop, back up, go back to safe. And for 10,000 years, that signal kept humans alive. But now that same signal is keeping you small. It's keeping you in the comfortable job you hate, the comfortable routine that leads nowhere, the comfortable life that feels like a slow death. Here's how you rewire it. 1. Do one uncomfortable thing every single day, not a dramatic, life-changing thing, a small, deliberate, uncomfortable thing. Cold shower, difficult conversation, send the pitch email, do the set. When you don't feel like it, train the muscle of discomfort tolerance daily. It grows like any other muscle too. Reframe discomfort as a signal. The moment you feel resistance, instead of backing away, ask, what is this resistance protecting me from? Usually, it's protecting you from growth. 3. Use the October 10th 10 rule before you avoid something uncomfortable. Ask, how will I feel about this in 10 minutes, 10 months, 10 years? Usually the discomfort lasts minutes, the regret lasts years. The willingness to be uncomfortable is the greatest competitive advantage available to any human being, because most people, almost everyone, will never, ever develop it. They'll spend their whole life optimizing for comfort, and comfort in excess is the enemy of everything you want to become. Choose the hard path every single day, not because it's dramatic, but because the person on the other side of that choice is the person you've always wanted to be. Let's talk about the subject they deliberately left out of your education. They taught you history, literature, algebra, but they never taught you how money works, how interest compounds, how to make an asset, how to avoid becoming a wage slave. That wasn't an accident. A financially illiterate population is an easily controlled population. People who don't understand money spend it all. People who spend it all need to keep working. People who keep working don't have time to think, to question, to build. I'm not asking you to become a Wall Street trader. I'm asking you to understand 5 fundamental concepts that will make you permanently better off than 95% of people around you. 1. Assets versus liabilities. Robert Kiyosaki made this famous, but most people still don't live in. An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Every purchase you make is one or the other. Treat your time, skills, and money as capital to build assets too. The power of compound interest. Einstein allegedly called it the 8th wonder of the world. $1,000 invested at 10% annual return in 30 years becomes over $17,000 without you doing anything. Time is the multiplier. The earlier you start, the more obscene the results. 3. Multiple income streams. The average millionaire has 7 income streams, not because they're greedy, because they understand that one income stream is one crisis away from zero. Build your second stream. While your first one is stable, then your third 4. Invest in yourself. First, the highest return investment available to you right now is in your own skills, knowledge, and capabilities. A course that teaches you a high-income skill can pay dividends for decades. No stock market gives that return. 5. Live below your means. Always, lifestyle inflation is the silent killer of wealth. The raise comes the lifestyle expands to match it. Protect the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is your freedom. You weren't given this knowledge, that's the truth, but now you have it. And the only question is whether you're going to act on it or let another year go by while your potential compounds at zero. We are living in the most extraordinary era for individual power in human history. 100 years ago, influence required money, lineage, or institutional backing. 50 years ago, you needed a TV show or a record deal. 20 years ago, you needed a publisher. Today, you need a phone, an internet connection, and something worth saying, the internet has completely demolished the gatekeepers, and most people are still acting like the gate is still there. Your personal brand is not your social media following. It's not your follower count or your blue check mark. Your personal brand is your reputation, what people think of when they hear your name. And in the age of the internet, that reputation can reach people on the other side of the world before you even wake up in the morning. Here's how to build it authentically. 1. Pick your lane and own it. Don't try to be everything to everyone. Find the one area where your genuine knowledge and passion intersect. Go deep in that lane. Become the person people think of for that specific thing. Depth of authority beats breadth of content every time. 2. Document. Don't perform. The biggest mistake people make is trying to perform expertise they don't have. Document your actual journey instead. What are you learning? What did you try that failed? What surprised you? Real is magnetic. Performance is exhausting and transparent. 3. Give first, always, before you ever ask for anything. A sale, a follow, a response. Give, share, teach. Help build a reputation for generosity before you build a reputation for selling. The trust you accumulate will eventually become the most valuable asset you own. 4. Be consistent. Not perfect. A slightly imperfect piece of content published today beats a perfect piece of content that stays in your drafts forever. Consistency compounds. Perfectionism paralyzes. Ship it. Your personal brand is the thing that works for you while you sleep. It's the reason someone hires you without interviewing anyone else. It's the reason a stranger trusts you with their problem before you've said a word. Build it now, not when you're ready. You'll never be ready. Build it now. We live in a world of instant gratification, same-day delivery, instant streaming, swipe right decisions. We've been conditioned to expect results immediately, and this conditioning is destroying people's ability to build anything that matters. The most valuable things in life have long incubation periods. Character, deep expertise, real wealth, great relationships, meaningful work. These things do not microwave, they slow cook. And the people who understand this, who are genuinely at peace with the slow build, have an advantage so profound that faster, more impulsive people can never catch them. Strategic patience is not passive waiting. It's not sitting around hoping things improve. Strategic patience is doing the right work consistently while trusting that the compound effect will eventually produce results beyond what you can currently imagine. It's planting seeds in March and not digging them up in April, because nothing is happening. The bamboo tree spends its first 5 years underground, building its root system. Then, in 6 weeks, it grows 90 feet tall. If you had watched it for 4 years and 11 months, you'd have seen nothing. You'd have assumed it was dead. You would have given up. Don't give up in March. Trust the root system you're building. Trust the compound effect of every correct decision you make, every skill you develop, every healthy habit you maintain, every difficult choice you get right when no one is watching. It's all adding up, even when you can't see it. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. And the best time to give up is never. We save this one for last. And it's the most important one. Every skill we've talked about today, every framework, Every strategy, every technique is useless without this one underneath. Most people spend their entire lives not knowing themselves, not really they know their name, their job title, their preferences on a dating profile, but they don't know what they actually value when no one is watching what they genuinely want. Stripped of expectations and social conditioning, what their actual strengths are not the ones they wish they had, what their patterns are the recurring behaviors that keep leading them to the same outcomes. Knowing your own mind is the foundation of everything. It's what allows you to make decisions that are genuinely yours instead of decisions made from fear, people-pleasing, or habit. Here's how you start. 1. Journal daily without editing, 5 to 10 minutes every morning. Stream of consciousness. Don't write for anyone. Write it yourself. You will discover things in a week of honest journaling that therapy takes months to uncover. 2. Do a values audit. Sit down with a blank page and write your top 5 values. Then look at your calendar and your bank account. Where your time and money actually go is where your real values are. If there's a gap between the two, you've just found the source of your internal conflict. 3. Track your energy, not just your time. Notice what activities drain you and what activities energize you over time. This data becomes a map to the work and relationships and environments where you naturally thrive. Stop trying to fix your weaknesses. Build your life around your strengths. 4. Sit in silence daily, not meditation. If that feels too loaded, just silence. 10 minutes, no phone, no input. Just you and your thoughts. The quality of your thinking is determined by the quality of your silence. The Socratic paradox. The unexamined life is not worth living. You can optimize every system, master every skill, build an empire of achievements, and still feel empty if you built it toward a destination that was never really yours. To begin with, know yourself. Really know yourself, what you stand for, what you won't compromise, what sets your soul on fire, and build your life from that truth outward, not from external expectations inward. Let me tell you something. You didn't find this video by accident. The person who scrolls past this video and goes back to their feed, that's not you. You're still here. You made it to the end. Do you understand what that means? It means the hunger is there. It's always been there. You've always known there was more to you, more to your life, more to what you're capable of. The problem was never your potential. The problem was the skills, the tools, the map. Now you have the map. 12 skills that separate the exceptional from the average. The art of learning high value communication, emotional regulation under pressure, deep work, mastery, sales without selling, reading people, thinking in systems, embracing discomfort, financial intelligence, personal brand, strategic patience, and knowing your own mind. Most people will watch this video, feel motivated for a few hours, and then go back to exactly who they were. Don't be most people. Pick one skill, just one, and spend the next 30 days going all in on it, not learning about it, living it in a year of deliberate skill building. You will be unrecognizable, not to other people, to yourself. The version of you who watched this video won't recognize the version of you who lived it. This is your inflection point. Every hero story has a moment when the path divides. One road leads back to the comfortable, the predictable, the safe. The other road leads toward everything you've ever wanted with everything it demands from you. In return, choose the second road. Most channels will ask you to subscribe here. They'll tell you it helps the algorithm. They'll make it feel urgent with some music sting. I'm not going to do that. If what you heard today resonated with you, if something in this video spoke to the part of you that is tired of waiting, then you already know what to do. Serious people take action. They don't need to be told twice. They hear the truth. They recognize it. And they move. If that's you, you'll be back not because of subscribe button, but because you're building something. And this is one of the places you sharpen your edge while you build. And if you know someone who needs to hear this today, someone who's stuck, who's doubting themselves, who's one conversation away from something changing, send this to them, not as a hint, as a gift. You've been asleep long enough. Wake up.